Sakamoto Days is the most slept on and most amazing series in Shonen Jump for New Gen. But welcome to the Anime Podcast channel. My name is Benji, and today we're going to be discussing Sakamoto Days, a series that might very well be in my top 10 by the end of its run, and undoubtedly one of my favorite new gens currently, if not one of the best new gens currently. And I'm gonna be honest, might give Chainsaw Man a run for its money. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Low-key may be better than Chainsaw Man. And My Hero. And Jujutsu Kaisen. No. Okay. But let me chill. But I'm not gonna lie though, the aesthetic and as well as the character designs for Sakamoto Days, I feel like is on par with Chainsaw Man. I feel like the action as well as the paneling is on par with Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know. Sakamoto Days is nothing like My Hero Academia. Niggas get murked in this series, so. But you get my point. Sakamoto Days is so much fire. Let me kind of break it down of why this series is so incredible to begin with. And I'll start by summarizing the plot first. Now, for a short answer, if you guys don't want to watch this, nice little video I edited for you guys, it's kind of like Way of the House Husband. Basically, in that series, a Yakuza, switches his life around because he gets married and he becomes a house husband. Yeah, there's that. Now, for the more in-depth summary, let me begin. Once there was a hitman who was considered the greatest of all time. All bad guys feared him, and all hitmen revered him. But one day, he fell in love, he retired, got married, and had a child. And he, put on some LBs. Gained some weight. And that's the general premise, and it's only kind of described in 1 to 3 pages. Yet, little does Sakamoto know that living in the world of assassins and hitmen, that inevitably his past will begin to creep up on him eventually. And that becomes very apparent in the very first chapter of Sakamoto Days, where we get introduced to Shin, an old colleague of Sakamoto, as well as somebody who thinks very highly of him. Now, the interesting thing about Shin is that he's actually a clairvoyant. And what I mean by clairvoyant is he can read minds. Makes for interesting dialogue later on. Well, one thing leads to another, and I won't spoil, but Shin and Sakamoto are partnered up yet again, yet not as hitmen. And Shin decides to follow Sakamoto's new lifestyle, and thus the Sakamoto family begins. Yet from here on out, Shin and Sakamoto will face the dangers that come their way as they navigate life as ex-hitmen, which is pretty forbidden in the hitman world. And in addition, they soon need to investigate who has this large ransom on Sakamoto's head, which require both Shin and Sakamoto to protect the grocery store from assassins and hitmen that are trying to take Sakamoto's head daily. And when I say protect, I don't mean kill either. And let me explain. You see, Sakamoto lives a new life, and a promise to his wife requires him not to kill or to keep secret, or else Sakamoto could suffer a fate worse than death: divorce. But along the way, we get introduced to several other characters from Sakamoto's past, and others who actually joined the Sakamoto family, such as Lu, a daughter of a triad boss. And the triad is, they with the shits in real life, so there's that. And Nagamo, another former colleague of Sakamoto, who may or may not be a bad guy. We don't know yet. Yet, with all that being said, Sakamoto Days has a unique and clever charm to it that keeps you engaged from chapter to chapter. And I'm very serious. I literally read chapter 1 and I was absolutely hooked. And the thing that truly hooked me was how well balanced this series is. And I'm gonna be honest, in all my years of reading manga, and I've read some peak fiction, from Monster to Berserk to One Piece to The Goatman, each one of these series brings in something to the table that it specializes in. Yet this series is able to be a jack of all trades but a master of none, and it does it so nicely. The humor is perfectly placed. The action is incredible. The world building, which actually I was very surprised that this series even had because of the gag, manga elements. And if you like blood, this series has a ton of it. In every chapter, I became more and more enticed to read because of these elements within the story, and nothing ever seems forced or pushed too far. And along the way, you find out information on both Sakamoto and Shin, and both of their background and origins give the series a little bit more character development or character depth that you weren't even expecting to get in the first place. For example, Sakamoto used to be one of 6 members of a highly elite group of assassins, whose main objective was to maintain the status quo within the assassin world. And I quote, "When friction within the industry is deemed problematic by the association." And the thing about it is, the members of this organization called the Order, these niggas are OP. And you just want to know more and more information about each and every member. But this makes it more interesting because there may come a day when, in order to continue the life that Sakamoto wants, he may need to face his old colleagues, and all of these niggas are elite. And that's a major plot point. The lifestyle that Sakamoto gave up and is willing to put on the line seemingly daily, he wants to keep the happiness as a normal guy, and it's pretty heartwarming. And a quick, unique little plot point. Throughout the series, Sakamoto, when he's in a serious fight, he actually instantaneously loses weight, and he goes back to his former self. Yet the next day, he goes back to looking like the coach from Slam Dunk. And even Shin's backstory, which is introduced in the best arc in the series so far, is actually a well fleshed out storyline that explores the difficulties of being able to read people's minds and how seemingly a gift can somehow, in essence, be a curse at the same time. And I could really go on and on about this surprising character depth within certain characters that you meet along the way. But I implore you, if you haven't read Sakamoto Days, please, please, please go ahead and support this series. This series deserves way more praise than it's getting, and I'm here to push the agenda all the way. You know, the same way I'll push the Goat Man and the Goat Piece agendas. But what do you think of Sakamoto Days? And for current readers, what is the element of Sakamoto Days that keeps you reading daily or weekly? Because it's a weekly series. Let me know in the comments below. But with that being said, my name is Benji. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.